Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kickback Presents, the All Memphis Post Game Show. My name is Jamal. With me, per usual, is the homie Mace. Mace, what's going on?
As per usual, I'm doing lovely. Always nice when we beat the Clippers, man. The last sporting event I went to was at Staples Center when the Grizzlies beat the Clippers by 30 on I believe it was a Sunday matinee game last season, just before the shutdown. Or actually, I think it was mid-January. But yeah, nice to see us back to our old ways of just, manhandling the Clippers. I thought the Clippers just didn't have it tonight. Not that they didn't have it, but they took a lot of three-pointers, which I'm thankful for, and they weren't hitting them, which was a nice change of pace. We talked about the bad luck we've had with teams hitting threes and getting wide open looks, and we finally ran into a team that wasn't knocking them down tonight, and it felt really good, man.
So that last game was that was when Ja made dude touch the dirt, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. But no, so we are here talking about the Grizzlies 122-94 win over the Los Angeles Clippers. And like we say in this part of the world, whoop that clip. That's what we do. We whoop that clip. I don't care who in the jerseys. I don't care who is coaching. I don't care who is playing. I hate the Clippers. As a Grizzlies fan, I hate the Clippers.
I tried to say earlier in the season, I was like, the Grizzlies and Clippers aren't rivals anymore. But every time, once the ball goes up in the air, I hate them. I hate them.
It's a deep-seated hatred, and it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. But yeah, the Grizzlies played well tonight, beat them. Let me pull up the stats here. It was nice to see Dillon Brooks back, and I'm going to say this point again, because this is the point I like to make, and I've been making. Dillon was hurt on Saturday. I get it. But if this team played full strength against the Suns on Saturday, we could have beat the Suns. Them throwing their game just pisses me off to no end. I want to keep coming back to it because that might mean a lot at some point. It might, whether if it's not even a playoff thing. Well, I mean, I guess it's a loss, so it's a loss, so it helps us in the lottery and draft pick stuff. But like, I didn't like the message that it sent, because we have a team that can do this. Granted, like you said, we didn't get the Clippers' best game. They were shooting a lot of threes and kind of let go. Like Ty Lue took his players out halfway through the fourth quarter. He didn't like fuck it, whatever. But with this team healthy, it's nice to see that we can compete with one of the top teams in the West.
Yeah, and makes my takes from the previous two games sound dumb. Talking about we're an average team, then we come out here and whoop the second team currently in the Western Conference standings, beat them by 28. And to me, the Clippers started out, they had a lead after the first quarter. It was 27-24. The Grizzlies, they were playing well, and let's rewind all the way back to the beginning. The starting lineup changed with Dillon Brooks back, and we started Ja Morant, Grayson Allen, Dillon Brooks, Kyle Anderson, and Jonas Valanciunas. Glory, hallelujah.
Oh, yeah.
And we weren't down by 10 points all of a sudden, It's amazing how that happens. And despite us shooting 40%, it wasn't all, roses in that first quarter for us, but we also had 0 turnovers, something that has not been the case lately with the team. And then we had 4 of our 7 offensive rebounds in the first quarter too. So we put 4 points on the board that way, able to keep it close with the Clippers. Defense was pretty good. I thought Kawhi just missed a lot of open shots, man. His shot was so flat tonight.
Him and PG.
Yeah, well, hey, we got a little bit of a playoff P there in the third quarter. I don't know what is his deal with hitting like the top corner of the backboard from the corner. That's tough to do, man.
We got to come up with a barbecue themed name for that when he's in Memphis and he plays bad. Pork P or
Porky P.
Porky P. You had too much rendezvous, my guy. Because that's a tourist barbecue. Unless they want to sponsor the show, then it's a show. But it was good to see. It was good to see Dylan back. I mean, and like I said after the last game, like this is a team. This team is a sum of all its parts, and when all the parts are there and working, we look really good. And this is the type of thing that this is the type of game that gives you hope. Now we'll see. I think we'll see a different Clippers team tomorrow. I kind of think that the Clippers. I don't want to say they came in underestimating the Grizzlies, but I don't think they would yeah, it's the Grizzlies, you know. On a 2-game losing streak, let's get in. I think they were probably looking at it like most teams look at playoff series. Like, let's go in there and get one. We get the first one, we get the first one, we get the second, we get the second, whatever. It's a back-to-back. Our only times in Memphis this year. Let's just go get these and knock it out. But it was nice to see that the bench came in. Tyus Jones was 4 for 4 in the first quarter, I think, or he didn't miss too many shots. He ended up with a career high 20 points. But it was good to see, to get a glimpse of how this rotation works with Justice coming off the bench, and it's just a matter of time before he replaces Grayson in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I do think that is true. But we'll see. Taylor Jenkins loves him some Grayson Allen. So, and Grayson hasn't been playing bad, but I think you saw the potential later in the game, defensively, especially just
Right.
how stout your unit can be if Justice Winslow and Dylan Brooks and Kyle Anderson are in the game at the same time. So, yeah, I don't think it's long before Justice is a starter. And I mean, he looked better tonight. We obviously had the 2 really rough games where you and I kind of said, just hold on, give him some time. And he wasn't great tonight, but he was pretty damn good. And you saw glimpses of what he can bring to the table. You just saw him getting more comfortable, and he was productive. And I think the biggest thing was he's not out there playing with the second unit with, Conchar, McDermott, and whoever else was out there, like Tyus and a big, and then he can't score. Like they just give the ball to Justice because he's the only one that can dribble and create. And then he looks bad because he's going 1 for 11. But tonight he was out there with the starters for most of his playing time, or if we had all of our players back except for Jaren. So there was more, quality players on the court. And it was just a different situation when he was on the court, I thought. And he was in a different role, as was Dylan Brooks. And I thought they both played their roles well and showed that they have potential to shine as, kind of important core players, but not the main guys.
I think that that is absolutely correct on the Justice front. The one thing I am thinking about with him moving him into the starting lineup, like one thing that Grayson provides spacing because you got to respect his jump shot. And Justice's jump shot isn't there yet. He's still getting comfortable and leaving shots short, which will come with time once he gets his legs under. And the best thing about him, like I said, and I keep saying it, is the way he moves. It doesn't look like any of that thing. It doesn't look like anything's bothering him. He looks healthy in the way he moves. Had a couple good strong takes to the goal this game, and just like you said, the possibilities of him and Dylan guarding the wings, and Kyle Anderson kind of being the same wing guard too, and on your defensive end, and not really losing that much from the offensive end is great. And having him play with real NBA players where he doesn't have to do too much and he doesn't have to press his first game back is don't do nothing but help him in his confidence because that's what he's used to doing. And I think I ain't put the stats, but he ended up with like 9 or 11 or something like that. And you look at you have him and Dylan guarding Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And, those two guys are great offensive threats, but Dylan and and Justice are good defensive players. And, Dylan didn't frustrate me that much today. I mean, he came out gunning the way he does in the first quarter, which you got to get used to. But, it's good. It's good to have him back in the lineup because it puts everybody in the regular place where they need to be. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, Dylan had a solid game. He was 19, 3 of 5 from downtown. No one had a bad game tonight for the Grizzlies, so we can skip that. But yeah, Justice, it was exciting seeing what he can do, and I think one thing that when he is in his role as a role player, he's a good rebounder, and this team struggles rebounding outside of Valanciunas, so it's much needed, and then he can get the rebound and go. He's not taking, and he can see the court well enough that you're confident in him leading that break. It's not like Dylan where it's like, oh, he's going to the rim in most cases. Justice is a willing passer, smart basketball player, high basketball IQ. I mean, the Grizzlies have a lot of really intelligent basketball players, it seems like, especially when they're locked in and on a string. So, I forgot where I was going with my Justice Winslow take. right there about him being a good rebounder and just providing another ball handler. But then the argument for Grayson is, like you said, he spreads the floor, and that can allow Ja room to operate and get going, and Valanciunas, honestly. So maybe you don't want to mess with that, and you like Justice coming off the bench and just having the flexibility of whoever's playing well. That's kind of who you close with. This team doesn't have one particular closing lineup at the moment. And DeAnthony Melton out of the rotation. How did you feel about that?
I was surprised. At first, I was watching the game, and you're so used to seeing him out there when Tyus gets out there that I thought he was out there. Then I realized they cut to the bench during maybe the first quarter, second quarter, and he's still sitting on the bench with his shirt on. I'm like, huh. Like, damn, DeAnthony's out the rotation. And then they put him. So I just thought he was injured. I thought he was hurt. And they just had him dress out because, whatever. We might use it. But then they put him in at the end. And I'm like, oh, so he wasn't hurt. I don't know. I don't know what that is. And I don't know if I like it, especially if you just signed the man to a 3-year contract.
Well, Taylor Jenkins has been pretty consistent in playing a 10-man rotation. I think he talked about the 10-man rotation before the game today and said basically, yes, somebody's going to be the odd man out. Like, I'm not going to play 11 guys. So, and DeAnthony, this is not the first time this season he's gotten a DNP CD. I know he got in, late in the game, but for all intents and purposes, he got a DNP. But my thing is, who would you play him over? Who do you not want out there that's out there? You got the options are basically Grayson or Desmond Bane, two guys shooting like 40% from downtown. You can't sit either one of them. You've been searching for a shooter for 15 years, and you got two now.
I don't have the answer to that. I don't have the answer to that, and I wish I did because I do like DeAnthony as a prospect and as a piece of this team. I don't know, and especially I can imagine they didn't expect Desmond Bane to come in and be as good as he is so early, so they didn't think that they would have to make this type of decision so soon. But what do you do with your bigs when Jaren comes back? Tillman might be out the lineup, right?
Right, and I saw some people on Twitter arguing to play Melton over Tillman right now. But I don't know if Brandon Clark can hold down that 5 position. So, and Tillman, he's been fine. He's been solid. He's been a backup center. Yeah,
I'm looking at Gorgie. So out of the lineup is going to be Gorgie and DeAnthony for the time being until Jaren gets back, and then we'll see what they do. But I will say I was very surprised that DeAnthony fell out of the lineup. He came in, played his 3 minutes like a pro, but I'm sure he's not happy about it. You basically go from starting to not getting any minutes against a really good team. So yeah, well, maybe it was one of those things too. Maybe they're tinkering with some things. In tomorrow's game, we'll see him play more than Desmond or more than Grayson. Maybe it's you get tonight, we'll give you something else so we can see what we got. But it's interesting. These are problems that good teams have. And these are the problems that we want to have, where you have to figure out the best 10 players that you have. And this is something that it's like somebody's feelings going to get hurt, right? And tonight is DeAnthony's.
Right. And, when the Nuggets last year had Beasley, Morris, Torrey Craig, and all the guards that they had, Gary Harris, Jamal Murray, I was jealous of them. It's a great problem to have, like you said. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. Chris Harrington from the Daily Memphian opined that it might be a good idea, especially with the release of the second half of the schedule, having the Grizzlies play 40 games and basically just tons of back-to-backs and just a lot of games in a short period of time, that the best way to go about that might be to just, okay, you're sitting out tonight, like just having a set rest schedule. Obviously, if someone's hot, maybe you don't sit them, or like Ja's probably not going to sit out. Valanciunas is not going to sit out, but all those guards that we just talked about, who are just kind of all packed into playing time, all deserving of playing time. Honestly, they've earned it. So that's the only thing I hate for Milton, man. He got such a huge smile. Seems like he has the most charisma on the team. So I don't think he's going to let it get him too down. But, I mean, everybody knows that can't feel good being the odd man out for the second time in a row. It'd be different if this was the first time, this was just your turn. But it can't be a good feeling for him. Just like, they view me as the 11th man on this roster. Like, is this my future?
When you signed him to a 3-year deal and you gave him a good amount of money, you know what I'm saying? So like at some point we thought you had a future with this team. So I hope it's that,
I think he still does. I want to be clear. But maybe not. I'm not the coach.
Who knows? That new front office, they don't do things like the old front office does.
Yeah. But the thing is, Melton is the team leader in plus minus. Like, he always has a positive impact when he's on the court. Sure, one player in lineup data can be a little noisy, but I mean, he hasn't done anything to not deserve playing time, but neither does anyone else. And I guess he's shooting like 40% from three.
So I'm trying to figure out the drop off. I'm trying to figure out the drop off between DeAnthony, Grayson, and Desmond, and if the gap is so huge between them that it makes it simple to not play DeAnthony. Because like with DeAnthony, you're getting good defense and you're going to get some shot making. Maybe not that much playmaking, but you get some shot making. You'll get some hard defense, some basket cuts, whatever. We know with Grayson, you're going to get shooting. He's a better shooter than DeAnthony. Play some good defense. Not as good as DeAnthony.
Yeah. He's in the right spot a lot of times, and he'll get some steals, but not like Milton.
Not like Milton, right? And yeah, man, I'm going to keep an eye on that. That's something I'm going to put on my list to keep an eye on, to see if that's just a function of we know what the rest of the schedule looks like. We can start this kind of internal resting type situation. I can imagine that they rest Justice Winslow tomorrow. He's on. He got 3 games under his belt. No need for him to play a back-to-back when you're just coming back from the injury, if you are really about injury maintenance. So maybe with him sitting out, DeAnthony gets more minutes back. So I wouldn't be surprised if they see him tomorrow. I mean, or if they don't, who knows? But
yeah, I mean, I could see it going either way. Or they say, no, like he was out this long to be ready to not sit out back-to-backs, and he just had his best game, so we want to keep that rhythm going. And he looks great. Like, I was honestly expecting Chandler Parsons 2.0, like him to come out there and be dragging a leg around because his hip is messed up. And I couldn't be just more impressed with how he's moving. I thought
no, go ahead.
Is he okay? Is Chandler okay? I don't know. He had that car wreck, had some brain concussion or something. I don't want to speculate on what he had because I don't remember. But I mean, that's what I was expecting to have. I was expecting number 25 back hobbling up and down the court, and I'm just so happy that that's not the case. But I thought Justice's play of the game was when he just handled the rock away from Kawhi Leonard and basically made the Clippers quit.
Basically, that was it. Kawhi made a weak little drive to the goal. He thought he was going to get a superstar call. Justice tied him up, yanked the ball away from him, and we started the fast break. Right? Did he take that in?
No, he passed it to Ja, who kicked it out to Dylan in the
And
corner
Dylan
for
Dylan going
the
for
three.
three. Yeah. And that was it. Like at that point, they put us up by maybe 20. Not only thing put us by 20, they put us up by like 18 or 19. And then Ty Lue called a timeout and took his players out. It was like 6 minutes to go. And maybe
Yeah,
they could, it's the NBA. They can cut leads down. And he was like, nah, we're gonna wait till tomorrow. We're gonna live to fight another day.
Yeah, so the Clippers got into the bonus with, I believe it was 7:42 left in the fourth quarter. Or no, the Grizzlies got into the bonus. The Clippers were hacking. And it was 97-83. We knocked down 2 free throws, 99-83. So what's that, 16? And then my note was Clippers lineup is small. They had Morris at center. And we countered with Ja, Dylan at the 2, Justice, Kyle, and Xavier Tillman. All really good defenders except for Ja. And we just, from there, blew the game open even more. That's when Kyle, we were on the fast break. He threw the lob to Justice, his first dunk as the Grizzly. That brought me off of my couch. I was like, that's his first dunk like since a year and a half. You know, he's been out so long. And I just imagine that felt really good. And then on the very next, like running back down court is when he gets the steal from Kawhi, and then we get the Dylan 3 on the other end, and you know that's one of those moments you wish there were 18,000 in FedEx Forum because it would have went off right there. Like the crowd would have lost their minds.
Kyle almost like took that dude's head off. Like he threw him a lob and like celebrating. He was like hitting him all on the head, like bro, y'all gonna get a man concussion because y'all happy for him. But it was nice to see, man. Like we said, you get a glimpse of what he can be, and it's the type of defensive player that we need when we start playing these teams that have these dominant players. Like nobody's going to hold. You can only contain them. Like you're never going to stop them. Like I mean, Paul George stops himself, so you don't have to worry about that. But like guys like Kawhi, and you play hard defense on them and make them work for shots, or maybe when we play Zion again, Justice ends up on Zion, big body versus big body. Who knows? But it's good to see that. It's good to see that and what he can do. The lineup, like Dylan brings a different energy to the team when he plays. You can just see it because he's out there hustling and scrapping and talking shit and doing whatever, taking bad shots and doing and doing whatever he wants to do. So it's interesting, man. A very good game tonight, man. Very good game. It was good to see. There's a good response from the last 2 games. You look at, we held an NBA team to 94 points, which is like, you think we held the Mavericks to 102 the other day. And then we score 94. And it's like, I mean, we hold the Clippers to 94. Like those are, you're supposed to win games when you do that. And we didn't win the other one, but we won this one. So it's good to see. And we'll see what adjustments both teams make tomorrow, if any. Because the Clippers they don't want to go 0-2 on this. They want to win. So Kawhi and PG are going to push for sure. I'm thinking they would at least. So we shall see.
Yeah. And, the Clippers were 4th highest scoring team in the league coming into tonight. 8-0 against sub 500 teams on the road, per my boy Pete Pranica. Appreciate that stat, Pete. So just they usually take care of business. And the Grizzlies were only 1 game under 500, and now back at 500, but still the stat remains. And held them to 41% from the field, 35% from deep. They were 12 of 34. Conversely, the Grizzlies were 58% from downtown, 11 of 19. Our best percentage-wise, our best night from deep on the season. And I thought we went back to that Detroit game where we just weren't in love with the 3. We were okay to attack. Tyus and Ja were shooting so many floaters, and obviously, that's not there every game. But I did see on Twitter, I think it was StatSack, put out something that said, like, the Clippers give up a lot of those short mid-range points. Like, that's what the analytics tell you, and it kind of plays right into the Grizzlies' hands with Ja and Tyus. And obviously, Tyus going 9 of 11 and having a career-high 20 points is a huge boost. Ja had 0 turnovers. We hadn't really talked about Ja. How did you feel about his game? He was 16 and 7, shot 50% from the floor and no turnovers. So, and I thought he really controlled the game in the second quarter. And then when the Grizzlies were kind of making a push in the third too.
I like the way that Ja played. I've been tough on him to see him play like the superstar that he is. And I think he did a little bit today, what did he shoot from three?
He's one for 4. He hit one late. Yep.
Yeah, he hit the one late that gave him 16 points. I like when Ja gets people involved early. He finished, I think, with maybe 3 assists in the first half. So he played a good overall game. I think that he likes playing. I think he likes playing against some of these big time names because he knows that the eyes on them, so the eyes on him. So he tries to do some things. Caught a nice lob from Grayson, which was cool. So it was good. Like, and then so when he's playing well and he's on his shit and his energy starts to get infectious too, it's a great thing to see for the team.
Yeah, and he had Valanciunas going early. Valanciunas finished with 16 and 15. What you want from him every night? It's a lot to ask, but he too was 7 and 14 from the field. So the shot breakdown, Ja and Valanciunas both ended up with 14, Dylan with 13, and then Tyus had 11, which is uncommon. Winslow with 8 off the bench. Kyle had 8. And then Grayson only had 6. So I'm okay with that. Grayson and Brandon Clark, 6.
Oh yeah, that's a very balanced shot distribution. Because like you said, Tyus Jones probably won't take 11 shots again. 9 for 11, 20 points. He had himself a hell of a game. You've been tough on him. Yeah. So he came out and showed you, Mason.
Yeah, he's been really good the last 3 games, I want to say it is now. He's been playing a lot better, and I mean, you just see how much better this team is with him running the unit and knocking down shots.
Yep. What else I want to talk about here?
Crushed him in the paint.
We got like what, 70? Was it 70 points in the paint?
72, and they only had 24. And it just blew my mind. Like, I don't know if I'm turning into an old man or what, but like Kawhi and PG had, like, one of them had Grayson Allen on them, or like Desmond Bain or somebody that they could take down in the post. And like both of those guys have decent mid-range games, and they just were content settling for jumpers.
One thing I remember is one play. I didn't write it down, but I made a mental note in my head because you mentioned that you hated it. It's something to do with Ja. He took a 3 on a fast break. I said, "Oh, Mace ain't gonna like that." And so it was, but yeah, to get back to them, they did not take advantage of their any of their mismatches. What did their bench end up with? They said they're highest scoring bench in the league.
I mean, Lou only had 9, so
we don't have that on. I thought the stats had it on here. They don't have bench scoring. But yeah.
I got it right here. Yeah, my boy Lou didn't show up. He had a couple nice moves late that didn't really matter. Grizzlies bench 48. Nice to see. Clippers bench 42.
So we outscored them on the bench, which was good. Obviously, that was bolstered by Tyus' 20, and Lou only had 9. And I would bet he scored 7 of that 9 in the first quarter. Matter of fact, I know he did.
Let me go. He did. I got the first quarter box score right here, and Lou Williams had 5.
5. Oh. Lou Williams. I remember it was a 3. Obviously, it was a 3 and a 2, a 5. But he switched them both, and I was like, oh shit, it's about to be one of them Lou nights because he's averaging like 17, 18 points. But yeah, they held him in check. That was good. It was good to see this. Like I said, this is the type of performance that you want to have off the 2 games that we had. You kind of got your team back. First time with a 90% healthy team. You like that. And I don't expect the Clippers to shoot 12 or 34 from 3 tomorrow. Can't say I expect us to shoot 11 or 19 from 3 tomorrow. So we'll see what happens and if we can get another dub. But this is a good dub for us. Like, look at the teams we beat. Like, we beat the Clippers, we beat the Nets, we beat the Sixers, right?
I mean, this is the best win of the season. Like the Sixers didn't have Embiid. Did we beat them? The Nets didn't have their players. Clippers had both of their stars. The only wins that are close to this are the 2 wins over San Antonio.
Yeah, we beat Charlotte, Brooklyn without KD, Cleveland, Minnesota without KD, without Karl Anthony Towns, Philly without Embiid. Phoenix, well, the first Phoenix victory was good because they had Booker and they had their whole team. The MLK game.
But Javon Carter was playing. They were missing somebody. They were missing some people. And no disrespect to Javon.
You keep bringing up that Javon was playing, bro. Why are you hating?
Because he's not now. Like they got someone back. He is out of the rotation. Like I don't know who the hell it is, but someone is back.
Why
but they did have Ayton. Did Booker play against us the first time?
Yeah, he did. He just got
Gillen locked him up. That's why he was MIA. I thought the biggest thing going against the Clippers, who are supposedly, in theory, one of the best defensive teams in the league, and I know that they really can be. But the Grizzlies only had 6 turnovers. Clippers had 14. We scored 17 off their 14 turnovers, and they scored 1 point off of our 6. Right. If you only turn the ball over 6 times in 48 minutes, your chances of winning are pretty damn good.
Dog, if they could just transfer that one part of their game over to the Memphis Tigers. Yeah. Tigers had 26 turnovers last night. What they had, I love these type of stats. What we said they shot the ball 52 times last night. The Grizzlies made 50 field goals tonight. Like,
yeah,
the difference between college and NBA is obviously it's a big difference.
Yeah, my eyes noticed the difference tonight.
Man, this was a lot easier of a watch. Yeah, this is not a lot left to say about this, man. But a great victory. You like what you saw. You want to see more of the same tomorrow. Would like them to win again tomorrow, but if they don't, I'm cool. Just don't take a step back. Just don't get out there and start doing bad habits. Jacking up threes you don't need to jack up. You had 6 or 7 turnovers tonight. Don't have 15, 16 tomorrow. Just keep progressing and doing what you're doing and be good to go.
And the good thing about being the lower team in the standings and winning that first one is tomorrow you're playing with house money. Right. And you have all the confidence in the world because you just beat them by 28 points. They got to come in and beat you tomorrow. So it's a completely different circumstance. And hopefully we see the same type of fire and energy that we had tonight.
I guess they made the conscious decision that they're keeping that court down because they took the court up for the Tigers game yesterday. And you would think they would have put the newer court down, but they put the retro court down. I mean, that court's been down for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we thought it was the snow at first, and now it's back. So, hey, I'm fine with it. I am completely fine with that.
Me too.
Who you got for player of the game?
Player of the game, man. I got to give it to the boy Tyus Jones. I had to give it to the boy Tyus. Career high. Came off the bench, super focused. Don't want to say he kept us in the game because we weren't really out of the game, but he just kept the momentum going when he came in, and he was a real spark in the second quarter too. So I'm giving it to Tyus.
Yeah, I mean you got to go with Stones, and who knows if he doesn't come in and make those floaters, like that game could have gotten out of hand. Like that's how crucial his 6 points or whatever it was in that first quarter were. All right, bum of the game. I'm giving it to Porky P. For rearing his ugly head with the side of the backboard brick. I mean, there is not an uglier play in basketball than that playoff P hitting the corner of the backboard and then going out towards the free throw line.
That just has to be so. That's a mental thing for him now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not even like a tick that you have. It's just a mental thing. Like take a step to the right or left when you in the corner, bro. So you're not really in the corner when you shoot. Which I'm gonna give my bum of the game, and he really wasn't that much of a bum tonight. Actually, he was that much of a bum as I look at the plus minus. Patrick Beverly. I don't like the guy. I don't like the guy. He talks too much, doesn't back up enough what he's talking about. And I hate to be that guy, but you haven't won. You don't do enough to talk as much as you talk. Like LeBron can talk. That's why I don't like when Dylan Brooks talks. Like, bro, you ain't did enough to talk the way you talk to people. But now Dylan's doing what he can. But like Patrick Beverly just be talking and playing dirty, but always complain. He never fouls nobody. He never turn the ball over. It's never his fault. It's always somebody else's fault. So Patrick Beverly is my bum of the game.
Yeah, and the Clippers as a whole just still complain like it's 2012 or 2014, just complaining to the rest of the whole game. How about your play of the game?
My play of the game, I was going back and forth. Like we talked about the Grayson lob to Ja. We talked about Kyle's lob to Justice. But I am going to say my play of the game is Kyle getting the rebound, getting the rebound, turning without taking the dribble, length of the court pass to Grayson for the layup in the first half. I thought I like that play mainly because Kyle got a rebound, and I need him to get all the rebounds he can get. But he got a rebound and an assist. So, but no, that was a good play. I wish Grayson would have dunked it, but I like that play.
Yeah, Kyle gave an ode to old Kevin Love with the two-handed overhead outlet pass. That was actually going to be mine early on, but then I had Justice Winslow's step back over Kawhi late in the third. That's the first time he's made a tough shot like that. Might like the second time maybe he's made a jump shot. So I think that really just gave him some confidence. And then, so I wrote that one down. But then we had that sequence where Kyle threw Justice the lob. He got his first dunk in Memphis. And then he got the steal from Kawhi leading to the Dillon three. So that whole sequence is my play of the game.
Which led to the Clippers clipping / quitting because Clippers gonna clip. Whoop that clip.
All right, now for what the people have been waiting for, Jamal. Did you tonight continue your winning ways on the betting applications?
I did. But I went back to my old habits though. I couched my bet. So I bet the under. I think the original over under. Let me check what the original was. It was 2 something. It started out. It opened at 228, and I was like, "No, they're not doing that." But I thought it was gonna be reversed. I thought the Clippers were gonna get us, but I knew we weren't gonna score that. So I bet the under straight up. Boom, got that. But then did my stats stuff, and out of the 12 little selections I made, I got 10 out of 12. The only 2 I did not get were from Clippers players. Yeah, they were. And guess who? I'll just go through it. Kyle Anderson. I needed Kyle to score 10 points. He did. I needed Jonas to score 10 points. He did. You can count on that. If loyal listeners to the show, I'm gonna bet Kyle to get 10 and Jonas to get 10 for sure. John Morant to score more than 15. Net 3 made it 16. Needed that. Ja to have more than 6 assists. He had 7. Kyle to have more than 4 rebounds. Had that. Jonas to get over 8.5 rebounds. He got that. BC, Brandon Clark, to get over 2.5 rebounds. Because he's been slipping on his rebounds lately. If I could have trusted him to get 4, it would have been better on the bet. So I just brought him down to 2.5. He got that in the first quarter, And I had Kawhi getting over 4.5 rebounds. He had that in the first half. Paul George getting over 4.5 rebounds. He had that in the first half. Brandon Clark getting over 8.5 points. He ended up with 11, right?
9.
He ended up with 9. Woo! I was gonna bet for him to get 10 and over 10, but I was like, nah, man, he been tripping. And I didn't know Dillon was starting. I thought he was still starting. I didn't know Dillon was playing. So anyway, put him down there. And so the 2 ones I didn't hit were Paul George scored 20 points.
Porky. Kawhi
Leonard to score 20 points. Paul George scored 30 points the last time he was out, and Paul George has not scored less than 20 points his last 6 games. Like he's averaging like 20, and then same thing with Kawhi. Kawhi's averaging like 27. Like, bro, he'll get a measly 20. But now, Justice and Dylan out here working. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna make the same. I'm not even gonna change. I'm gonna make the same bet tomorrow because I feel like they can probably everybody can still hit these numbers tomorrow. I'm not even gonna change. I'm gonna lock it in right now.
Okay, bold move, Cotton.
And I might. I think I might do. I want to see what the line is because the Clippers are still going to be favored tomorrow, but they were favored by 8. So we'll see what they favored by tomorrow. Maybe I'll go. maybe I'll go Grizzlies +5 or whatever. I can also see the Clippers coming down and kicking our ass tomorrow. I can see him putting the wood on us tomorrow.
Yeah, who knows? Just make sure you check the PR reports, man. So you know who's playing and who's not. All right. You've learned your lesson.
I checked around 4:35, and then I don't think they announced Dylan. Dylan was questionable,
right?
They didn't announce that he was playing and starting until probably like 6:45, or it's like right when they were getting ready to go. So, but at this point, I was pretty happy. And actually, if I knew Dylan was playing, I might not have even put the Paul George and Kawhi bets because I would have put Dylan for over 12 points and over 4 rebounds. He always gives you that when he plays. Yeah.
Brandon Clark to the bench, man. It helps the stats. 9 and 8. We didn't really mention him, but a solid game from him, back where he belongs.
And you can see the difference in Brandon when he's coming off the bench, and he looks more comfortable. There's always, like you've mentioned it before, the connection between him and Tyus. The connection, whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the word I want to use. But he looks more comfortable, more in where he wants to be, not much out on the wing that much anymore, playing a little bit closer to the basket. He gets his floaters off. He gets his offensive rebounds. So, yeah, it was good to see that.
Yeah. Well, you got anything else you want to talk about?
All right, that's it, man. They got 42 minutes out of us on that game.
Hey, y'all can find me on Twitter at BarnBurnerSlim. You can find the show on Facebook, the Kickback Podcast, on YouTube, Diamond in the Bluff Media, on Instagram, the
_Kickback_podcast. And if you're on the YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram channel tomorrow, so y'all subscribe. We're trying to get the subscribe numbers up. At some point, I'm gonna just put the audio only version up, but maybe this weekend I'll just load up all the old audio versions, and we can get them on Anchor or something and make them do all the work. But with that being said, that is Mason. I am Jamal. This is the All Memphis Post Game Show, and we are out.
Peace.